Prince but heartbroken. He walks beneath chandeliers of silence, a crown resting heavy on thoughts no one hears. Gold trims his sleeves, yet grief stains deeper than any royal dye. Every smile is rehearsed, every wave a practiced lie to the crowd. He learned early how to stand tall, how to bow his head without breaking posture, how to swallow storms behind polished words. The palace knows his footsteps, but not the weight they carry at night. In halls carved with victory, his echo sounds like loss. Trophies watch him pass, unaware they glitter over a tired soul. History paints him brave, but history never sleeps beside him. Prince but heartbroken, he laughs when the world expects laughter. He speaks hope while bleeding quietly. His eyes memorize the sky, asking it questions the earth can't answer. Love once came like spring rain, soft, sudden, full of promise. He believed tenderness could live in crowns, that power and warmth might share one heart. But love left without ceremony. No drams, no farewell parade. Only a silence sharper than swords. Now nights sit beside him, long and loyal to his pain. Curtains sway like ghosts of what he dreamed. Candles burn down like his patience. He counts shadows instead of stars, counts breaths instead of victories. Prince but heartbroken, he touches the ring on his finger, not for wealth, but for the memory it trapped. Every jewel reflects a face that never stayed. The kingdom sleeps peacefully, trusting his strength. They don't hear the cracks forming in his prayers. They don't see him kneel, not as a ruler, but as a man asking to forget. He rides through deserts of duty, sand whispering names he avoids. The sun salutes him, but cannot warm what's frozen inside. Camels move steady, unaware they carry a throne with a wound. Prince but heartbroken, his letters remain unsent, words locked in drawers of restraint. Ink dries waiting for courage, paper curls with disappointment. He knows silence is safer than confessing weakness to the world. Music plays in grand rooms, yet his heart skips every note. Dancers spin joy, while he spins memory. Applause rises like waves, crashing against a shore that feels nothing. He envies the guard who cries openly, the servant who loves freely, the poet who bleeds on paper, without consequence. Power taught him control, not healing. Prince but heartbroken, he carries two lives in one chest, the legend they believe, and the truth he buries. One stands in sunlight, the other hides in rain. Sometimes he dreams of being ordinary, of walking streets unnamed, of loving without consequence, of breaking without headlines. In dreams, he is lighter, almost happy, almost whole. Morning returns him to duty, armor stitched with etiquette. He straightens his spine, adjusts the crown, locks pain behind protocol. The mirror salutes a prince, never asking about the man. Prince but heartbroken, he rules with justice, because he knows injustice too well. He forgives easily, because forgiveness was denied to him. His mercy grows from wounds, his wisdom from loss. If you watch closely, you'll see it in his eyes, a tide pulling backward, a farewell he never spoke. Between blinks, a lifetime of longing passes. He does not ask for pity, only silence enough to breathe. He does not curse love, only wonders why it chose him to leave. Still, he believes, even broken, that hearts are meant to feel. Prince but heartbroken, he remains standing, not because he is unbreakable, but because falling would frighten the world. So he stands, picking, loving quietly, ruling bravely, waiting for a dawn that heals what crowns could not. Prince but heartbroken, the dawn greets him with formal light, as if even the sun knows his title. Before his name, morning prayers echo off marble walls, each word polished, each silence heavier than gold. He listens to advisors speak of borders, of alliances, of future years etched in strategy. They speak of strength as numbers, as land, as control. He wonders why no one speaks of the fragile nation inside his chest. Prince but heartbroken, he signs decrees with steady hands, hands that once trembled. While holding love, ink flows obediently, never revealing how much it costs to appear composed. He walks through gardens designed for peace, roses blooming without permission. Even flowers are allowed to open fully, to give fragrance freely. He pauses beside them, jealous of their honesty, of how they do not apologize for needing sunlight. A child bows before him, eyes bright with faith. The prince smiles, because hope must be protected. He blesses the child's future, quietly wishing someone once had blessed his heart. Prince but heartbroken, his laughter is generous, given as charity to the crowd. They take it gladly, never knowing it is borrowed joy, never knowing it returns empty. At banquets, silverware sings, plates overflow, voices rise in celebration. Yet hunger sits beside him, not for food, but for one honest touch. Without ceremony, he remembers a time before titles grew sharp, when love called him by his name, not his rank. Those memories visit like thieves, stealing his breath, leaving ache in their place. Prince but heartbroken, he has mastered the art of distance. He keeps affection measured, friendship respectful, desire restrained. Anything too close might touch the bruise that never healed. The moon knows him well. At night it watches him wander balconies, confessing thoughts to the sky. Stars listen patiently, offering no answers, only witness. He wonders if love remembers him, if it ever pauses when hearing his name, or if it moved on easily, lighter for leaving. A prince who carried too much. Prince but heartbroken, his tears are trained soldiers. They do not fall without command, but sometimes one escapes, sliding down his cheek like a secret breaking free. He wipes it quickly, as if shame could see. A ruler cannot afford visible sorrow, yet sorrow does not respect law. In private chambers, he removes the crown. The silence deepens. Without weight on his head, he still feels burdened. Power never truly comes off. Prince but heartbroken, he reads old letters again, not to reopen wounds, but to prove the love was real. Pain feels easier to bear when it once meant something beautiful. He forgives in his thoughts what he cannot forgive aloud. Some apologies never arrive, yet he practices acceptance like a difficult prayer. When storms strike the kingdom, he stands firm before his people. They call him strong, brave, unshaken. Only the storm inside him knows the truth. Prince but heartbroken, he builds schools, hospitals, roads of hope. He turns pain into purpose, because suffering must be useful if it cannot be erased. He believes leadership means service, perhaps because love once served him loss. If he must bleed, let the blood water someone else's future. Sometimes music drifts through halls at night, a single instrument crying softly. He pauses, letting the sound sit in him. For a moment, he is not a prince, only a heart remembering how to feel. Prince but heartbroken, he carries on, because crowns may crack hearts, but hearts still beat, and as long as they do, he will rule with kindness, love in silence, and wait patiently, bravely, for healing to learn his name. Prince but heartbroken, seasons change like chapters he did not choose. Autumn bows before him, leaves falling as if practicing surrender. He watches them scatter, thinking how easily things let go. When they are ready, winter arrives without asking permission. Cold settles into stone walls, and deeper into his ribs. Fires burn bright in the palace, yet he still shivers, learning that warmth and heat are not the same. Prince but heartbroken, he learns the language of endurance. Silence becomes fluent, patience sharpens, hope hides but never dies. He survives not by forgetting, but by carrying memory gently. He attends weddings dressed in dignity, offering blessings wrapped in gold words. Each vow echoes in his chest, a reminder of what almost was. He smiles sincerely, because love should never suffer for leaving him behind. Prince but heartbroken, he teaches himself mercy. He spares enemies, forgives betrayals, understanding that cruelty often wears the mask of fear. His own fear taught him that. At night he listens to the city breathe. Lanterns flicker like cautious dreams. Somewhere below, two lovers whisper promises. He turns away, not bitter, just tired of watching what he cannot touch. Prince but heartbroken, time reshapes his sorrow. The sharp edges soften, but the weight remains. Grief becomes familiar, like an old advisor who never leaves. He writes poetry in secret, lines born from sleepless hours. No name signs the pages. A ruler's pain must remain anonymous, yet words insist on living. Ink becomes his quiet rebellion. Prince but heartbroken, he questions fate respectfully. If destiny demanded sacrifice, why did it ask for love? If power required solitude, why give him a heart that aches for closeness? Dreams visit him less often now, but when they do, they are gentle. In them love does not stay, yet it does not hurt either. Smiles, as if thanking him for letting it go. Prince but heartbroken, he begins to heal without noticing. Not by reunion, not by revenge, but by living. Healing arrives quietly, like dawn entering a dark room. Without apology, he laughs more freely some days, surprising even himself. The sound feels strange, but welcome. Pain loosens its grip, not gone, just resting. Prince but heartbroken, he understands now. Love was not his weakness. Loving deeply proved he was human before he was royal, and that humanity still saves him. The crown still rests heavy, the kingdom still needs him, but his heart, though scarred, beats with wisdom. It knows loss, and therefore knows value. Prince but heartbroken, yet not broken beyond repair. He walks forward carrying both, the memory of love and the promise of tomorrow. Prince but heartbroken, he learns that healing is not an arrival, but a road walked slowly, sometimes backward, sometimes barefoot. Each step remembers pain, yet still moves forward. He stands before mirrors less often now, not avoiding his reflection, just no longer questioning it. The eyes staring back have survived enough to deserve respect. Prince but heartbroken, he listens more than he speaks. In other stories, he hears echoes of his own. Every soul carries a quiet war. Every smile negotiates with sorrow. He visits old places alone. The garden bench, the silent corridor, the balcony where goodbye once lingered too long. These places no longer wound him. They bow to him now, recognizing endurance. Prince but heartbroken, he accepts that some love is meant to transform, not remain. Some people arrive only to teach the depth of one's own heart. The kingdom prospers under his care. Fields grow golden, children learn freely, streets feel safer. He gives stability because instability once lived in him. Prince but heartbroken, he understands loneliness differently now. It is not emptiness, but space. Space where wisdom grows, where self-respect takes root. Sometimes grief resurfaces unexpectedly, like rain on a clear day. He does not resist it. He lets it pass through, knowing storms lose power when welcomed calmly. Prince but heartbroken, he no longer waits desperately. If love returns, it must come gently, without fear of his scars. If it never does, he will still live fully. He speaks to the young about courage, not mentioning crowns or wars. He tells them bravery is staying soft in a hard world. They listen, unaware they are hearing his life's lesson. Prince but heartbroken, he writes one final letter he will never send. It holds gratitude, not longing. He burns it at dawn, watching smoke rise, like closure finding sky. Ash falls harmlessly, no longer heavy. His chest feels lighter, not empty, just free. Prince but heartbroken, yet whole in a new way. He He walks into the future, without rushing it, carrying dignity, memory, and a heart that learned how to survive love. Prince but heartbroken, the years begin to speak softly to him. They no longer shout loss, they whisper understanding. Time, once an enemy, now walks beside him, like an old guard who knows when to stay silent. He watches new rulers rise in distant lands, young, eager, unscarred. He smiles at their fire, knowing flames learn wisdom only after burning. He prays they lose gently, if they must lose at all. Prince but heartbroken, he carries love differently now, not as a wound, not as a hunger, but as a quiet strength, resting behind his ribs. Love did not fail him, it shaped him. On long journeys, horse hooves beat steady truths into desert ground. The horizon stretches endlessly, teaching him that endings are often just wider beginnings. Prince but heartbroken, he notices beauty more. A sparrow landing without fear, an old man laughing freely, rain washing dust from stone. Pain sharpened his sight, sorrow taught him gratitude. He forgives himself at last, for loving too deeply, for believing too fully, for breaking quietly. Self-forgiveness tastes like water after years of thirst. Prince but heartbroken, he understands now. Strength is not the absence of tears, but the courage to keep the heart open after it has learned pain's language. At night, he sleeps more peacefully. Dreams are simple, walking without guards, laughing without echo, loving without fear of loss. He wakes with a calm ache, not sadness, just memory breathing gently. Prince but heartbroken, the crown still rests upon him, but it no longer defines him. He is a man who ruled sorrow before ruling land. A heart that survived itself is the strongest kingdom. When his story is told, they will speak of wisdom, of justice, of quiet power. They will not know the love that shaped it all, and that is enough. Prince but heartbroken, yet no longer alone within. He walks forward carrying peace, not because life was kind, but because he chose to be.